Hello, my name is Taylor Jones. I'm the Emergency Services Director for the Anderson County, and we're here today on a very, very sad occasion after an active assailant attacked one of our elementary schools in the Townville area. The initial call come in to 911 center today at 1:45 from a teacher in a classroom at Townville Elementary School stating that an armed male on the school grounds and a student had been shot. The information we're providing today, I want everyone to know, is very fluid and things are still ever changing. Some of the misinformation that was put out by myself earlier was that two of the patients were flown to ANMED, and there was actually only one patient flown to ANMED. The other patients were taken to ANMED Health, and we'll speak to that further with Dr. Avery. I want to thank the members of the Townville Fire Department and EMS for their quick response and their initial involvement. They was lives saved by the actions of the fire EMS personnel today, and the law enforcement response was phenomenal, and it was lives saved because of the teamwork demonstrated today. And that's one of the things that we've prided ourselves in Anderson County, that having an Anderson Strong program that brings the whole community together for this type of crisis. We were hoping that we'd never see this training used, but today I believe lives were saved because of our responders being so well trained and being such a cohesive team. One of the things that I think is very important is that we as a community stay behind our first responders, our teachers, and all involved in this incident, you know, for factual information. And this is going to be evolving out for several weeks. So just bear with us as we deal with this crisis as a team. With that, I'd like to introduce Dr. Avery, for the superintendent for District 4, to speak about what happened there at the school.
At approximately 1:45 this afternoon, an individual with a gun entered the premises of Townville Elementary School and injured two of our students and one of our teachers. We do not know the extent of the injuries at this time, but all are receiving medical care. The perpetrator was apprehended by law enforcement within a matter of minutes and is in custody. All students and staff members have been evacuated from the school and are accounted for at this time. We are heartbroken about this senseless act of violence, but we are so thankful for the quick response by law enforcement and school employees who prevented further injuries. Our school district has been working hand in hand with law enforcement for the past 5 years. We have participated in county-wide active assault training, and Anderson 4 schools have all received active shooter training. The quick response by the principal, teachers, and staff kept this horrific tragedy from being much worse. School has been canceled for the rest of the week. Counseling services will be available both on Thursday and Friday for both students and staff members. The school district is working with Anderson, Oconee, and Pickens Mental Health Center to coordinate those efforts. Information on these services will be communicated through our messaging system. This is a very difficult time, and we ask that everyone keep the injured students and their families in your thoughts and prayers, along with the entire Townville community, including our students, staff members, and their families. We will make a further statement this evening as we get more information. Thank you.
I'm Greg Shore, the Anderson County Coroner. The Sheriff's Department and the Coroner's Office is doing an active investigation at this time in reference to a homicide of Jeffrey DeWatt Osborne. He is 47 years old, and he lives at 150 Osborne Road. This is about 2 miles from the school. 911 received a call from his family a short time after the incident at Townville, and when officers arrived, they found Mr. Osborne deceased. He died from a gunshot wound, and we believe at this time that it is connected to the incident at Townville. There is a relationship between the victim and the shooter. This appears to be the victim's son, who is a minor.
I'm Captain Garland Major with the Anderson County Sheriff's Office. I command the Criminal Investigations Division. As Dr. Avery said, around 1:45 this afternoon, we got a call of an active shooter. Deputies were on scene within 7 minutes, and I believe we did have the shooter in custody before 2 o'clock. So it was a rapid response, and we were able to contain the subject and ensure the safety of everyone else involved. The investigation is in the initial stages. We've only been out there 3 hours. This is going to be a very slow, methodical, and meticulous investigation. We're not going to have all the answers at one time. We're not going to have all the answers at 11. It may take a few days before we finish up and with our investigation and be able to address some of them. Right now, we know that 2 of the students were both males, white males. The teacher was a white female. The shooter is a juvenile. He's a white male. There's no racial undertones there. There's no terrorism involved. We feel confident that we have the sole shooter, that no one else is involved, and that the community is not in danger at this point. Like I said, we will try to get some information out there to you as soon as we can. Thank you.
I'm Ken Waters, Vice Chairman of Anderson County Council. We want to thank all of our agencies for their quick response. But the main reason we are here is to make sure everyone involved knows that Anderson County will be supportive of school administration, teachers, students, and families in this situation all the way through the end. We also would like to extend our thoughts and prayers to each one of those. Thank you.
We'll entertain some questions now. Anyone has any questions?
Captain, is there a connection between the 2 students that were injured, the teacher that was injured, and the shooter himself? Are they family? Are they related?
At this point, I don't know the exact relationship between the 4. In time, we should be able to put that up for you.
Was the teacher the intended target?
That I can't tell you right now. It's, again, the infancy of the investigation, 3 hours. We don't have much information right now.
What kind of weapon was used?
It was a handgun.
Do you know where on the students' bodies and the teacher's body where those gunshots were?
Okay, I'm sorry. I think one of the students was shot in the leg, the other in the foot, and the teacher was in the shoulder.
Can you characterize the injuries at this point? Or are all of the injuries recoverable or life-threatening?
That I wouldn't know.
As far as the incident itself, the incident on Osborne Road, is there anything indicated from 911 calls or from the family that did call 911 that there was some strife in between the father and the son?
We haven't even made it into the scene. We have such a large scene at the school, the one on Osborne Drive. We haven't even entered that yet, so I can't tell you that right now.
But have you been able to get anything from the family that did call 911 in regards to the relationship between the 2 as far as whether or not it was strained or anything like that?
No.
Is that address familiar to you? Have you responded to that address on Osborne Road before?
I don't know if our office has or not.
Is the shooter's mother an employee at the school?
I wouldn't know.
Captain, could you talk about the arrest? Was the shooter combative? Did he approach the officers, or was he taken into custody without incident?
Correct. That's what I was going to say. He was taken into custody without incident.
We know he's a teenager. Do you happen to have his exact age?
I'm just going to say teenager right now.
What's the relationship between the shooter and the juveniles? Do you know that? The children, the victims?
I know they all go to school together. As far as their being friends or anything, I can't tell you.
Do you know if they're related?
No, I do not know.
Okay. Are the 2 children, the victims, are they related to one another?
To my knowledge, they are not.
Dr. Avery, how many students in that school? Can you give us a picture of
About
the school?
280, 285.
Was the
Small
teenager in school anywhere?
He was
Homeschooled.
homeschooled. Yes.
And the classroom, did this happen in a classroom at the school?
The exact location I can't tell you.
As far as the students, the suspect in this case, is there anything to indicate that he might have had some mental issues, mental health issues?
I don't know that yet.
Was the teenager a student in District 4 at any point?
Was there any relationship that you found between the shooter and the teacher?
At this point, I don't have an answer for you on that.
Any indication that any of the victims were targeted?
At this point, we don't know. We're trying to determine that right now.
And forgive me if I missed this, but where and how did this student enter the shooter? Did he go just straight through the front door? Was it, where did he enter the building?
I'm not sure of that either, sir.
Does the school have video cameras that will help you in the
Yes,
investigation?
we do.
Are there metal detectors or anything else like that at the school? Is there a resource officer?
We don't have a resource officer, but we've been through lots of active shooter training. And there's security cameras and 2 entryways, a door lock system, an airlock system at the school.
So,
That's
yeah.
part of our safety.
Does that mean he had to be buzzed in?
He would have to be buzzed in, but I'm not sure how he entered the school. I don't have that information.
What can you tell us about the weapon? Was it a handgun?
It was a handgun.
Thank you.
Do you have the caliber?
It was a handgun.
Is there anything going on at school at this time? Was it lunch? Was it recess? Anything particular going on at this time?
I mean, I don't know if I should speak to this. I have to defer to law enforcement.
In that, I don't have access to that. I wouldn't know.
Can you tell me how many members of law enforcement responded?
No, sir, I cannot. I know we had a tremendous outpouring of assistance from SLED, Highway Patrol, Oconee County, Greenville County, Pickens County, municipalities inside the Anderson County. Right now, just too numerous for me to name, but it was a quick and a very good response for law enforcement as a whole.
Can you tell us where you apprehended the shooter?
I do know he's on the school ground.
And that was actually apprehended initially, my understanding, Scott, correct me here, by a firefighter, correct?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude this news conference. We'll have next scheduled news conference at 9 p.m. If we have any additional information that we can provide, we'll give you those updates as it becomes available. But our next scheduled time is at 9 o'clock this evening. Thank you.